Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for the today's session in continuation of the Newton's second law of motion. So today we will continue the Newton's second law continued. So student, in the previous session we have derived the relation F is equal to m into A. Right? So here F is for force, as you know, m is for mass and A is for acceleration produced in a body. And this is the case when a body of mass m is applied with a force F and acceleration A is produced. So if a body of unknown mass m is applied with a force, it will have a certain value of acceleration in the direction of force. Now our question is, our motive is to find how much force is being applied such that the acceleration A is produced. So we can find from this formula by knowing the mass m and the acceleration measured. So if we multiply this mass and acceleration, we will get how much force is being applied on the body, right? So now this form, this is called as mathematical form. Mathematical form of second law. This is the mathematical form of the second law. Now this form only tells you about the magnitude of the force. Okay, so if you want to know, if you are interested in the direction of the force, then you have to write this relation in the vector form. F with arrowhead equal to mass m multiplied by acceleration A with arrowhead. So this arrowhead implies that particular quantity is a vector quantity. So here F, there is an arrowhead, so F is a vector quantity, you already know, and acceleration is also a vector quantity. So this mathematical form is called as vector form of second law. This is also second law, but this is in vector form, and this is also the mathematical form of second law, but it is in scalar form. This is in scalar form. Scalar and vector, you know the difference. The quantity having only magnitude are called as a scalar. Here the force will have only magnitude, there will be no direction, but the quantity which possess magnitude as well as direction are called as vector quantity. So here this relation will give you the vector form of the force, that is magnitude as well as the direction, right? Now what will be the direction of the acceleration produced in a body when a force F of particular magnitude is applied on it? So according to acceleration produced in the body is nothing but the direction of the force. Means if we apply a force in the direction like this, the acceleration will be also in the same direction. Okay, here m is the mass, but if the same body of mass m is applied with the direction in this direction, the acceleration will also be in the same direction. This is an important point to be noted in the Newton's second law statement, that the applied force is in the direction of acceleration, or you can say the acceleration produced is in the direction of the applied force. This is about the two form of Newton's mathematical form, that is the scalar form and vector form. The physical quantities remain same in both the forms, only the notation is changed. In vector form we denote force in a vector and acceleration in vector form. This much, okay? Now one important point to be discussed here is that the Newton's first law is a special case of Newton's second law. What is Newton's first law? That a body in its state of rest will remain in its state of rest until some external force is applied. Means if a body is at rest, what does it mean? Its initial velocity is equal to 0, right? Now this will remain in the state of rest, means the velocity will be 0 unless some external force is applied on it. And when this external force is applied, the body will have a change in velocity, say v. This was your Newton's first law. Again, the second statement of Newton's first law means the another statement that if a body is already in motion, say if it is in constant motion with initial velocity u, then the body will remain in its initial velocity u unless some external force is applied. If here the object is moving with initial velocity u and there is no force acting on it, it will move with the velocity u. Now if the same moving velocity is being applied with force m, then its velocity will change. So these are the first law. Let us see whether these two statements are verified by Newton's second law or not. If these two statements are verified, then we say that Newton's first law is an special case of Newton's second law. Means from Newton's second law we can derive the Newton's first law. This is what means by special case. So for case first, for proving the case first was that the body was initially at rest. Okay, so if the body was initially at rest, it means that u is equal to 0. Initial velocity is 0. So if no force is acting, what will happen? There will be no change in velocity. There will be no velocity, means no change in velocity. In that case, if v is equal to 0, then from the Newton's second law, F is equal to mass into acceleration. This is the Newton's second law. Apply the Newton's second law in scalar form. Now, what is acceleration in this case? The acceleration formula is v minus u upon t. Is it? Now, this since u remains 0, v remains 0, what does it mean? That v minus u is nothing but your 0, and 0 divided by time is 0. So m multiplied by 0 is nothing but 0. Means what? This means that if a body will have no velocity if external force is not applied. If external force becomes 0, means if external force is not applied, then what will happen? The body does not change its velocity. So first is proved, and we can say that, we can note that, what we note, that a body will have no velocity if external force applied is 0. The body is having an initial velocity u. There is an initial velocity u. Okay, but this is constant, means it is not changing. Why it is not changing? Because no external force is acting on it. If no external force acts on it, then what will happen? V minus U will be equal to 0. If U is having some value, but there is no change in velocity, means initial velocity is U and final velocity is also U. So U minus U will be equal to 0. So if this is the case, then applying the Newton's second law, F is equal to m into A, and we know acceleration A is equal to V minus U. Now final velocity is also U, initial velocity is also U, so that becomes 0. So 0 upon T is again 0, so force is equal to 0. So hence we conclude that no force is required to move a body with constant velocity. अगर एक ऑब्जेक्ट कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी में मोशन कर रहा है तो उसके कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी को मेंटेन करने के लिए हमको एक्सटर्नल फोर्स की जरूरत नहीं है. And this is what is your Newton's first law. So one by one we have proved these two statements of Newton's first law using Newton's second law. So we can say that first law is the special case of Newton's second law. Hence, first law is a special case of second law. Second law means Newton's second law, right? Now let us come to the unit of force. The unit of force. As you know, each and every physical quantities are having some unit, and that unit may be either in SI unit or in CGS unit. Okay, so here we will see what is the SI unit of force. So unit of force, unit of force, in which physical unit force is measured. For example, we measured mass in kg, that is the SI unit of mass, length in meter, that is the SI unit of length, and time in second, that is the SI unit of second. Similarly, what is the SI unit of force? So for this, we again apply the Newton's second law of scalar form, that is force is equal to m into A. Now in this relation, mathematical form, scalar mathematical form of Newton's second law, suppose that m is of 1 unit. 1 unit. I am not saying gram, centigram or kg. Simply I am saying 1 unit. In whatever unit we measure m, that we take as unit. So in general we take m as 1 unit, and the acceleration produced in 1 unit of mass of a body is, say, 1 meter per second square. So if you multiply 1 unit with 1 unit, what we get? F will be equal to 1 unit. Okay. This is the case. M is equal to 1 unit. Acceleration produced is equal to 1 meter per second square. Then what will be the force? So we define this F is equal to 1 unit means 1 unit force. 1 unit force. So how you define the 1 unit force? Force of 1 unit, either 1 Newton or 1 dyne. Remember these two units, that there are two units of force, Newton and dyne, D-Y-N-E. Newton or dyne. Newton is the SI unit of force. Newton is the SI unit of force and dyne is the CGS unit of force. So whatever is the unit, how will you define one unit force? Whether it is one dyne or one. So let us define one unit force from Newton's second law from this. One unit force is defined as that force which acting on a body of unit mass produces an acceleration unity. Again I am repeating, one unit force is that force which acts on a body of unit mass and produces an acceleration unity. That is called as one unit force. Means when I say that 1 Newton or 1 dyne, this is one unit force. 1 Newton or 1 dyne, this is one unit. 1 Newton means हम समझ जा रहे हैं कि 1 न्यूटन फोर्स कितना फोर्स है, वो यूनिट मास पे एक्ट हो रहा है और यूनिट एक्सेलरेशन प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है. सिमिलरली 1 डाइन में भी हम ये 1 डाइन से हम समझ जाते हैं कि ये यूनिट मास पे एक्ट हो रहा है और यूनिट एक्सेलरेशन प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है. बट देयर unit of measurements are different in these two. We will see in the later part of this discussion. Now let us define 1 Newton force. 1 Newton force. What is 1 Newton force? Just now I have defined. That is 1 Newton. Now just now we have defined one unit force. Unit is a general definition, centimeter per second square. I just told you 1 unit mass and 1 meter per second square acceleration. So that gives your 1 unit force. Now this 1 unit force can be 1 Newton or 1 dyne. So you can say like this: 1 unit force can be either 1 Newton and 1 dyne. Now what is difference between the 1 Newton and 1 dyne? Both are unit force. Both are unit force. So let us see one by one. 1 Newton force, when applying again the Newton's second law, F is equal to m into a. When m is equal to unit kg. अब देखिए वहां पर हम यूनिट ले रहे थे, अब यहां पे हम 1 kg ले रहे हैं. kg is the unit, that is SI unit of mass. This is your SI unit of mass. And acceleration we take, if the acceleration produced is your 1 meter per second square. Again this is SI unit of acceleration, right? So both the unit must be same. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम इसको SI यूनिट में ले रहे हैं, इसको डिफरेंट यूनिट में ले रहे हैं. हम हमेशा जो भी प्रोडक्ट करते हैं हम सेम यूनिट में लेते हैं. तो मास का यूनिट हमने केजी में लिया, तो एक्सेलरेशन का यूनिट हम किस में लेंगे? मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर में. अब अगेन जब आप दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो क्या आ जाएगा? 1 kg meter per second square, and this is nothing but Newton. This is what is meant by 1 Newton force. So 1 Newton force can be defined as a 1 Newton force is defined as that force which acts on a body of mass 1 kg and produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. That is called as 1 Newton force. So here the F is equal to 1 Newton. Now N is the notation for Newton, and when we say Newton, that is in SI units. So remember always the SI unit of force is Newton. Now 1 dyne force. The definition will be similar 1 dyne force. Again we apply the Newton's second law, F is equal to m into A. So here dyne is CGS unit of force. अब डाइन कैसे बनता है, जैसे न्यूटन बना है वैसे आप देखेंगे. सो जब सीजीएस यूनिट ऑफ फोर्स है तो मास का सीजीएस यूनिट हमारा क्या है, ग्राम, और एक्सेलरेशन का सीजीएस यूनिट है सेंटीमीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. हियर ग्राम is the CGS unit of mass and centimeter per second square is the CGS unit of acceleration, right? CGS unit of acceleration. So gram centimeter square. So how many gram? That is 1 gram. And how many centimeter per second square? That is 1 centimeter per second square. So F is called as 1 into 1 is 1, and that is dyne. So dyne is ग्राम. डाइन से हम क्या समझते हैं, डाइन को हम ग्राम सेंटीमीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर भी लिखते हैं, और न्यूटन को केजी मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर भी लिखते हैं. सो दिस इज वन डाइन फोर्स. व्हेन a force acts on a body of mass 1 gram and produces an acceleration of 1 centimeter per second square, that force is called one dyne force. Okay, so this is about the SI unit of force. And one more thing in the last, that dyne and Newton both are related to each other. दोनों एक दूसरे से हम जोड़ सकते हैं. मीन्स 1 न्यूटन में कितने डाइन होते हैं, दैट इज 10 to the power 5 डाइन. जहां 1 न्यूटन है 10 to the power 5 डाइन हम लिख सकते हैं अगर हमको कन्वर्ट करना. जैसे हम 1 किलोग्राम में हम कितना ग्राम लिखते हैं, 1000 ग्राम, है ना. तो 1 किलोग्राम में 1000 ग्राम. उसी प्रकार से n न्यूटन फोर्स में कितना डाइन फोर्स होगा, दैट इज 10 to the power 5 डाइन. दिस इज द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रिलेशन, or you can say the converting factor of newtons into dyne. Say there is a 20 newton force and you are asked to change into dyne. So 20 newton force will be equal to 20, और newton का जगह में क्या लिख देंगे, multiplied by 10 to the power 5 dyne. Now this is converted into dyne and this was in newton. So 20 into 10 to the power 5 dyne is the result. So that's all for today, students. Now I am summarizing what you have studied today's class is that you have proved that Newton's first law is special case of second law. ये हमने पढ़ा, प्रूफ किया दोनों स्टेटमेंट को. ओके, सेकेंड हमने ये भी पढ़ा, राइटिंग the scalar form and vector form of Newton's second law statements of Newton's mathematical statement. And third, we have seen about the unit of, we have defined 1 Newton force and 1 unit force. Defined 1 unit force and 1 Newton force and 1 dyne force. ये 3 चीज हमने डिफाइन किया. So this is all about your Newton's second law. In the next topic, in continuation in the Newton's second law, we will see some examples of Newton's second law.